Hello again, it's now time for Mission, and this program is brought to you by Star Ghana with funding from UK Aid, Danida and the EU. Well, tonight's Mission this Sunday begins work on two districts of the Ashanti region, that's Sekyere Central and Sekyere Kumawu districts. Well, the exposition starts with uncovering the challenges with education, health and gender. We begin from health sector. And tonight, poor access to health facilities due to broken down culverts and bad roads is impeding efforts at improving healthcare in the Sekyere Central district of the Ashanti region.
This is the ordeal of drivers. Many dread plying the route. This is one of the many cars that ply the stretch. These are kind of specialized vehicles because they have learned to use this side of a road. Now, it has to wade through the water, and because it is quite heavier compared to the smaller taxi cabs, it is able to go. But even here, this is the situation. It just got locked up somewhere, and it is struggling very hard to go through the water that has collected here. This is part of the journey where drivers really struggle to go through. Sometimes they simply can't go and will have to wait until the passengers have to get down and pull the car out of the water. This is exactly what has happened here. A bad situation affecting the district terribly in this part of the country. Several of them won't drive here due to this. The daring ones will make the attempt, but this is the result. For hours, all energies are directed at pulling the vehicle out. So after several efforts to get the car out where it is stuck, the driver has given up and is now looking for another option to get the vehicle out. The engine is still on just to ensure that water does not get into the exhaust and into the engine. Now, we're trying to find out how we can use another car, bring it to the bank of the river and pull this vehicle out here. It's a terrible situation here, and this is what drivers go through here all the time, because this culvert that got broken after it was constructed has posed several problems for the people who live in this part of the district. There's a total cutoff of residents of Birim and beyond to the other side of the district. But attempts after attempts are not successful. But once pulled out, a second attempt is made to cross. This time, successful.
This whole community here, they don't have any assemblyman or MP here to solve their problem for us. No? It is not fair, as we can see, we are all suffering. You have to complete this bridge for us so that every problem will be solved.
Because of this, several drivers will simply drop off passengers and leave. Then these commuters would have to trek the rest of the journey.
I got stuck here once and a tractor had to pull me out. Please help us get the culvert built.
Residents of communities including Chiesu, Jeduakon, Atonso and Birim suffer this ordeal daily. The culvert was to link residents to Nsuta and beyond. Farmers produce in large quantities, but they end up here unable to get to Nsuta. Sometimes when drivers dare to go and pick foodstuff, high transport fares scare off traders. The river Beni gets flooded and cuts off people living across the river. Healthcare is the most affected.
Hospital and station.
A pregnant woman had to be carried across the river in a tractor and a canoe before she could be taken to a health facility.
And yet, you say you need to Emma could only try a frabno and sana ecofano Dakar. And dear, how many years?
The district health service is frustrated in ensuring service delivery at hard-to-reach areas.
About 70% to 80% of all the facilities are concentrated around the capital, the district capital, which forms the nucleus of the district. And so health service delivery is basically concentrated here. And accessibility is a problem for us as health staff going there.
Personnel have, however, devised means of at least providing some help during these times.
We make sure that before the raining season, we resource these facilities with medicines, with non-drug consumables, with other logistics that they need, so that when we are not able to go there, they can actually fall on those resources that they have to be able to deliver.
The stretch from Misuta to Birim now takes several hours to ply. The culvert is said to have been awarded to a contractor some 6 months ago. It caved in right after completion. Thus, the already terrible situation of commuters on the stretch is compounded. The assembly can no longer fund reconstruction, and so residents now suffer the drudgery when using that stretch. The assembly says it is pursuing the roads ministry to get this fixed.
We did it once in our own resources, but it collapsed again. That's about the third time we've lost what is done. So that one too, the federal roads engineer came, documentations on it has been done, it has been sent to the minister, and we are still following up. Surveying work and the quantities and all those things that have been done by the federal roads. In fact, a copy has been sent to the minister. I have also sent a copy to the minister, and we are talking about it to make sure contractors will come on site. Because if it's not done and start raining again, that will be another. If I should show you videos of community complaining, and even I myself, but a lot of our products come from that section of our district. And if they are cut off during the rain season, what we're saying is that we should allow their crops to get rot.
The assembly is sure the economy of Sekyere Central will see a massive boost if this culvert and several other bridges are constructed. This, the assembly says, is beyond its capability and wants assistance from central government. Bright Nanamfo, TV3.